Hey, welcome back to the All Access Podcast. My name is Wayne Brown. I'm so glad you joined us today. I am thrilled, pumped, excited because we have Pastor Jonathan, our pastor, on today. And Pastor Jonathan, thank you for joining us today.
I'm excited to be on the podcast. It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be really, really great. And I'm pumped because today we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to be talking about a really great subject on productivity.
Productivity.
Love it, love it, love it. And I think this is going to be so great. I think this is going to be a real productive podcast.
No question about it. It's going to be productive. You know, Pastor Wayne, when I hear critiques often of church staffs and people that don't understand what church staffs do, what pastors do, often it's like, hey, do you guys just preach on Sunday? And then, like, what else do you do? You know, and people have this conception that, like, pastors, they don't know what pastors do or what church staffs do. And a lot of times I'm like, man, pastors work harder than most people on the planet. I mean, there's so many hours to a pastor's life. But sadly, I know about most staffs, church staffs, is they struggle knowing exactly how to spend their time. So in some ways, I want to defend pastors and say, no, pastors work super hard. And then on other hands, I'm like, sometimes I feel like pastors could have some more vision. I feel like church staffs could have some more vision. And so that's the purpose of this subject.
Well, man, I am thrilled. I am excited about it. And you've shared this with our staff. And I'm telling you, it's just got me all fired up. So I'm so glad that we're getting the opportunity to share this with those that are listening today. Pastor John, do you want to just dive right in and just kind of talk about, set the whole thing up? So
here's a visual that we can all just think about in terms of productivity. Cars, trucks, semi-trucks, they all have great horsepower and great potential. You can rev an engine, though, and go nowhere. And I drive an RV. One time I was going down a hill, and just to save on gas and have fun, I put it in neutral just to coast down the hill. Well, the hill was really long, and I started to go up on the other side, and for some reason I forgot to put it back in drive. So I was going up the other side of the hill, and the RV started to slow down, and the engine had plenty of power to get me up the hill, but I was slowing down, and I started revving the engine in neutral. So RPMs are going, but no productivity. And that's a visual of a lot of people's schedules. They're putting in 40 hours, which means that's high RPMs. You got RPMs going. But if the gear is not locked in, you're actually not getting any productivity. And what productivity is, and a simple way to say it is, it's harnessing the potential of what's there. It's harnessing the potential. So if you got a lot of potential and you harness it, that's productivity. If you don't harness it, then you don't have productivity. And a lot of times church staffs are filled with potential, filled with like a lot of horsepower. But if it's not harnessed correctly, then it will just feel like the organization's stuck in the mud and just spinning. So I want to give a couple of tips today.
Correct.
These are just what I would call hacks, productivity hacks, to help people get unstuck, to put the car in drive, to make the RPMs matter, to make the 40 to 50 hours a week that they work actually meaningful and make it go forward.
Let's do it. Let's dive right in. Let's go for it.
Okay, so just stop me at any point you want to comment. First step towards getting productive is to get clarity of thought, clarity of mission, clarity of vision, because you and I both could show up every day and get busy doing something. We could cut some grass. We could paint a building. We could do all kinds of stuff. But clarity shows me what I should do. Clarity shows me, what is the mission? What is the vision? At Bethany, our mission is bringing all people into the life, family, purpose of God. And so really when we show up, if what we're doing is not somehow contributing to bringing people to life in Christ, to bringing people into family and relationships and bringing people into their purpose, to see them fulfill their purpose, then we're doing busy work. We got RPMs, but we're not getting true traction towards the mission. So clarity, getting clear on what is the mission, what is the vision, because mission and vision are a little bit differently. I'm not going to get all into that. But where are we taking this organization? And I think step one to getting productive is to get clear. And to get clear, you have to ask the right questions. Ask the right questions from people that are over you. Ask the right questions from whoever has the answer of clarity. Also, to get clear, you have to write. I believe in writing, because as you write, things that are abstract become clear. It amazes me. Sometimes I think I have clarity. Then I start trying to write something and I realize I don't have clarity at all. Just have a lot of thoughts, but writing helps it to get clear. And thirdly, just think. Spend time in isolation and meditation. You and I have had these conversations, especially with thought work. I'll tell you, hey, get away for 24 hours, turn off everything, and use your mind and harness the power of your mind. And so this is all a part of getting clear. I believe most people struggle with clarity. And because of that clarity, they don't see 100% output that they could see. Once you get 100% clear, you know where to focus. You know how to, just to make this real simple, and then we'll move to the next one. If you show up to work and I say, hey, go paint that building right there, that's clarity. That's easy clarity. That's okay. That building, and then if I tell you go paint that color with blue and go get the paint materials from this store, okay, we have clarity. Many people lack clarity of what they should do. Secondly is get organized. Organizing your work environment, not having a disorderly work environment, but also organizing your priorities. What really matters the most? What's number 1, 2, 3, 4? Organizing your calendar. Most people don't master their calendar, and organizing your calendar to where it makes sense. It's powerful. It's a powerful schedule. Organizing your projects. Which projects matter? So get clear, get organized. Number 3, get a plan. I believe every year should have a plan, every month should have a plan, every week should have a plan, and every day should have a plan. Every day that I wake up, that is a work day for me. And I even do this sometimes on off days that are domestically focused. But if I start my morning without a plan, I seem to swim around. I don't really know what I'm doing. But if I'll spend the 15 to 20 minutes and develop the plan for the day, writing out proper list of what needs to be accomplished, then at the end of the day, I know if I've accomplished it or not. But not just every day needs a plan. Every week needs a plan. Every month needs a plan. Every year needs a plan. And this takes thoughtful preparation and consideration. So first, get clear. Second, get organized. Third, get a plan. Fourth, eliminate distractions. Man, our lives are filled with distractions. And the first one I'll mention is just digital distractions. I'm convinced that most people have a chemical addiction to their phones. And when I say chemical addiction, I'm talking about hormonal responses, chemical responses to what the phone does. And most companies are designed to get your money, and they know how to get in. To get money from you, they require your attention. So the more attention they have of you, the more their advertisers will pay them. So they realize the better they get at getting your attention, the more money they'll get. So literally, they have thousands of people at these corporations that spend all of their time trying to figure out how to maximize your attention. So you better believe that you are addicted to your phone, whether
Absolutely.
you like it or not.
Yep.
You're addicted to it. You're addicted to the way that the messaging system works. You're addicted to social media, possibly. You're addicted to emails. And if you truly want to be productive, you've got to understand that there is that massive distraction that's the digital world, and you have to learn how to cut it off. You have to learn how to limit it and truly put it in its corner, put it in its place. Also, distractions, what I call monkeys on the desk. I heard Dave Ramsey said something one time that was so fantastic. He said that, when people come to his office and they have tons of problems, he sees it like monkeys on their back. And these monkeys are swinging around and fighting each other and playing. And these monkeys are just crazy on their shoulders. And when they sit down at his desk, these monkeys jump off of their shoulders and onto his desk. And basically those monkeys are all of that person's problems. And he doesn't let somebody leave the office with the monkey still dancing on the desk. Because if those problems became his problems, now he's just got a bunch of monkeys in his office. So he says, okay, before you leave, monkeys are back on your shoulders, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Leave my desk free of the monkeys. And
Yes.
oftentimes people get into their workday and people walk in with monkeys all over their back, and they let them dance on his desk or whoever's desk. And so be free of digital distractions, be free of other people's crises. Understand when this is somebody else's crisis and not your crisis. And then also what I would call social distractions, especially in a work environment. Smaller churches don't struggle with this, but larger churches and organizations struggle with this. If you have a couple of people that work on staff, many people, dozens of people that work on staff, if there's a healthy work culture, then there's often coffee breaks, there's water fountain talks. And what I've seen is that people don't know how to manage that social environment a lot. And so they'll get into lengthy hangouts, and before you know it, 45 minutes has gone on, an hour's gone on, and you have literally a lack of productivity. And so I'll pause right there and just say, man, does that spring up any thoughts for you?
Well, absolutely. There's tons of things that I would say. I think the first thing that I go back to on the first one about getting clear is to ask the questions. That's one I think that people often don't want to do because maybe they don't want to feel like they don't know the answer, or they don't want to ask their supervisor because they don't want to feel like they're incompetent. And I think asking the questions and go back and clarify and make sure you know what you're looking for is important. I've had to learn how to do that and be willing to go back and ask the questions, because if I don't, then I'll walk away with a lack of clarity, and then I don't get the thing accomplished, and it's because I didn't ask the right questions.
And I'll just stop because you and I work together, and I love our work relationship. And we've worked together for years now, so you know me, I know you. But one thing that I do love is sometimes you'll come to me with something you need clarity about. And you'll say, okay, I'm not 100% clear. And I'll give you an answer, but not really clarify it. And you'll say, okay, I'm still not clear.
Right.
So I think some people that just accept whatever answer they get and they walk away when you're not clear. But really, you should not walk away without clarity. Because if you don't have clarity, you're not going to be truly productive.
Exactly. And it's my responsibility to get the clarity that I need from you in order to accomplish the task. Yes, it's the leader's responsibility to try to give as much clarity as possible. But if I lack clarity, it's my responsibility to make sure I try to get that from you so I can go and execute what's needed.
And sometimes that's painful as a leader. And I like to say this, that whoever has the most clarity is the leader.
Absolutely.
And so every leader has this responsibility to have clarity for every person that works under them. And that truly is the weight of leadership. It's clarity of what are we doing, where are we going, how long should it take for us to get there? Mm-hmm. This is clarity.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
No, I love that. I think the second thing when I think about what you said here is the monkeys on the desk. That's my weakness. People will come in my office and leave monkeys all over my desk, and it will distract me because I will end up taking care of this and having to go and send an email about that and I mean, I've got monkeys everywhere. They're not just on my desk, they're on my chair, they're everywhere. And it convicted me because I said, no, I'm not going to allow people to leave monkeys on my desk. And I wanted to ask you, as the senior leader, I'm sure people bring stuff to you all the time, and you've got your day going, but of course things come up and things happen. How do you keep that from those monkeys getting on your desk and in your area?
Okay, I think that's great, because as a leader or a manager, I see my job, my besides giving clarity to the organization, my greatest contribution is to serve the people who are directly under me. How can I serve you? Wayne, how can I help you? And I'll send this to all of my executives and people. What are you working with? How can I help you? Because I want to get in the trench with you. I don't see that as monkeys. I see that as this is my responsibility. You are my responsibility. And I want to serve you and I feel like that's the best way I can lead, is to serve you in what you're doing. And I think the best way for you to lead is to serve those who are serving you. Get in their world. See how you can help them. So what I don't mean is don't help people that are working for you. What I do mean is crises that spring up for somebody else that maybe requires follow-up action. It requires a chain of action. And instead of me doing that for you, I will give you the advice. I'll give you the wisdom. We'll get in this trench together. But ultimately, when you leave the conversation, you still carry the ball. I've given my input. But I'm not going to carry away a bunch of action points that I now have to do. And so the monkeys are actually what lives beyond the meeting. It's what lives beyond the meeting that we discuss the problem. And so most of the time when somebody comes to me with big issues, I'll say, okay, this is what I would do. I would go back and talk to them, and I would tell, and so I give that person the responsibilities, and I just don't take it on. And where I get into trouble is if I start making promises. Don't worry about it. I'll email them. I'll put it on the schedule. I'll make an appointment, and then and now I'm weighed down with a bunch of action points. You left lighter. I left heavier.
Right. You're right. Exactly. That's not the goal. No, that's great. That's fantastic. Hey, let's dive back into even more.
Okay. So first, get clear. Understand what you're trying to do. Second, get organized. Third, get a plan, create a plan. Fourth, eliminate distraction. And then we pick up back up at number 5. Use time blocking. There are a lot of productivity hacks and ways that you can approach the way that you use your time. I've found time blocking to be, for me, the most powerful because it's a predetermined set of time that I'm going to work on an assignment. And I know that I can give peak performance in that amount of time to that task. So I will, before I do it, I'll put on paper, I'm going to spend 60 minutes on this. I'll spend 90 minutes on this. I'm going to spend 2 hours on this. I'm going to spend 4 hours on this. And so I know how to place it in my day. And then once I have the plan, I will actually start attacking those time blocks. I have a 30-minute time block given towards creating this program and this email for this group of people. And I will go hard for 30 minutes. And when I'm done with that 30 minutes, for the most of the time, I have executed. I have delivered, and that thing is ready to ship. Sometimes I finish earlier. If I finish that thing in 20 minutes, I've just earned myself a 10-minute break. And I do that. Instead of just stacking the next project right up on it, I've said, I've just earned myself a 10-minute break. Wonderful. I'll walk outside and come back. But I follow the time block that I've set there. And also understand the time blocking limits. There are limits to how much time you have peak productivity, peak creativity. People need breaks, which I'm going to talk about in the next point. But time blocking, this is what I would suggest for people is, if you don't know what you're supposed to do in a day, do the first few points. Get clear, get organized, create a plan. But while you're planning, plan your day out in time blocks, especially if you're somebody who's creating content or creating correspondence, emails, or creating systems. Like I know you do a lot of that, creating systems. You have to create how much time am I going to dedicate to this? And then you plan out your day like that. And then you just start executing. Once you have the plan, you start executing those time blocks. And what you'll walk away with that day and realize, man, I've checked off every single thing that I had to do today. I accomplished those time blocks. And that leads me to number 6, utilize breaks. It's a proven fact. People have peak moments of energy, peak moments of clarity, peak moments of creativity. I'm very much like that. And the older you get, the more you start to realize and understand yourself and how your rhythms biologically. Some of it has to do with the way that we eat, the way that we drink. There is definitely health parts to this, but you have a rhythm, and you have to understand that rhythm, and you have to respect it. So I have about 60 minutes, just personally. I have 60 minutes of what I would just say, this is peak performance, mental energy that I can spend. And so I go into a 60-minute time block, looking forward to the break that I'll have on the other side. I go with all my might, and then I will take a break. I'll get up, and I'll spend 15 minutes, 20 minutes doing whatever I want to do. I'll go eat a snack, take a little walk, come back, and then I'm right back at it. I'm back into another time block. The new time block may be 2 hours, and I hit that, but then I'm taking a break. And I think that triggers a reward cycle in your mind. It's like, hey, I'm going to hit it, and then I'm going to back off, and I'm going to regather myself and then hit it again. And so utilizing those breaks. Number 7, I would say, is keep records of what you accomplished. I'll say this. There are some people that feel like it's a certain personality to have to-do lists and to be organized. And I agree. Some people are just wired that way. But I believe that the people who are not wired that way should learn how to be that way. I honestly believe 100% of people should learn how to discipline themselves and create targets, accomplish those targets, record what they accomplished. So on any given day, they can look back and say, look what all I accomplished on Tuesday. Look what I accomplished on Wednesday. Keep records. So keep records for your own psychology. Like, I'm making progress in life. I'm producing. But also keep records for those who you're accountable to. If you're working for a manager, nothing excites me more than to see somebody's true accomplishments. Like, wow, that was your day? You cranked out all that? That's amazing. And I think many people are frustrated. They feel unseen in an organization, or they feel like nobody recognizes them. And it's partly because they're not keeping good records of what they're accomplishing. And maybe their manager is not sniffing down their trail every day saying, what did you do today? What did you do today? But boy, a manager sure would appreciate it if they saw a detailed list of this is what I did for the organization today. That person's going to get favor. That person's going to receive promotion. That person's going to receive new responsibilities and seem invaluable to the organization. And then finally, I would say isolate and reflect. This is all about after a month is up, you take a look back and just say, what was this month? What did I really do this month? Did it move the organization forward? Did it move my life forward? Was it productive? And then say, okay, should I do that again this coming month? Should I repeat the play? How should I twist the play? How should I tweak the play? And so this process is just what I would call a few hacks for people who are in ministry and churches to become more productive.
So good. So good. I think out of this last two of the set of lists that you gave us, I think the time blocks and using certain times of the day to be the most productive in content creation, all of those type of things. You know, I saw an article saying that between 8 a.m. and 12 is the time that most people, just even depending on whoever you are most creative and can get things done. After lunch is when people start to lose that creativity, and I find that to be the case with me. And I start to realize over time that there's times that I know that there are certain things I shouldn't do at a certain time. Later on in the day, that's not the time for me to start a project or start trying to create something, because I'm not going to get much done at that time. Or even approvals or anything like that. That's not the time to start doing that, because I'm not at my my mental height. No. So,
yeah, and once you learn yourself like that and you realize I do have limitations, there's better times to make decisions, better times to do certain things. I'll give you one example from me. I write sermons best at 5 a.m. Okay? But I gather material. I fill the pantry best in the afternoon. And it's just because in the afternoon I'm more inquisitive. I'm more geared towards research in the afternoon. But if you want me to commit and create an outline, then it's not my peak. So I actually have a rhythm of spending an afternoon in research mode, gathering all the things that I would use in a sermon. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm thinking 100% clear. I look through all that I gathered, all the data that I gathered, all the different illustrations, all the possibilities, and I can, within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, pull it all together in an outline that is memorable, it's powerful, it's potent, it's edited, and it's peak performance. So that's just an example for me personally of knowing yourself. I'll give you another example. I write songs best late at night. And there's a reason why, because you get tired, you're physically tired, but something awakens in you from a creative standpoint. It's almost like you turn a part of your brain off, and there's a creative side that comes alive. It's not super intelligent. It's more feel. It's how I feel. So if I'm writing a song, I'm probably much better off writing a song at 11 p.m. than I am at 9 a.m. And so just learning yourself, learning your flows and time blocking. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. That's really, really great. And then I think the last part of that I've really stuck out to me was to isolate and reflect. I do this every day. It's important, and I know a lot of people do, but it's important for me when I sit down to really isolate and reflect on conversations that I've had, and just even things that have happened, or even look back. I look back over emails that I've even replied on and just said, "Hey, is this the right thing?" Just to make sure that tone, all that kind of stuff was the right way, and I think it's very, very helpful to me to isolate and reflect. And of course, obviously, we always do at the end of the year and all of that. And so I think that's super, super important for people.
I think writing is something that people take for granted. Again, it's one of those things some people are good at, some people are skilled and used to it. And then there's a huge swath of people who don't write. Something about writing makes the abstract real. And like I said, a lot of people think they're clear. They think it. But when they try to say it, they're not really clear. Writing exposes that. We've had things in our organization where we've wanted to bring clarity to, and we can discuss it and feel like we have clarity. And then we try to write a little one-page manual and realize we have 3 bullet points. This is really nothing. We don't have anything, and we realize we're exposing our lack of clarity. And the whole process of writing is just paramount, and the practice of writing. And it doesn't mean you have to write like a little journal excerpt every day. Your writing may look like a bullet pointed list. Your writing may look like just a random sentence. But it's just the art of expressing and articulating clarity. And I think clarity with your goals, clarity with your work, clarity with productivity, clarity with your calendar, clarity with the organization. It's just important to do that writing. So
love that. So as we close, if a pastor is listening to this, or a leader is listening to this, or anybody that just says, I realize that I'm lacking in productivity, and I know you gave 8 things here, what would be the kind of just the first thing right off the bat? Would it be the first thing that you shared, or what would be the first thing that you would say to someone who says, I feel like I'm lacking productivity?
Okay, this is what I would say is first thing I would say is start every day with a plan. Start every day with a plan. That's the most important thing, is don't just dive into your day. Don't sit down at your desk at the first thing in the morning and just say, no, what have I got to do today? I know I got a lot of stuff. No, spend time creating a plan. I think it takes 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it could take less than that. If you have tons of stuff, it may take even less time than that because you know what to do. Sometimes you got to be more creative and figure out how you're going to stretch out. But I just say start with a plan. Create a plan for your day. And I think that's going to expose that I need clarity. I need, when you start trying to write a plan down, you realize where you're weak.
So, I need to get organized, all the things. No, that's so great. That's fantastic. Well, Pastor John, thank you so much. This has been so awesome. Good, man. This has been really, really, really great. Hey, just a couple things before we go. And Pastor John, we've got a question of a day I'm going to ask you to answer for us as well. But just a couple announcements right before we go. BowlX conference is happening June 12th through the 14th. And all of you youth pastors, students, all of you guys, you want to be at BowlX. It's going to be amazing. We have some great guests coming in, and we want to encourage all you guys to be at that. And then, of course, All Access Empower, September 11th through the 13th. All you pastors, bring your staff, bring your leaders, come. We've got some great guests coming to that as well. It is really going to be powerful. And you can sign up at BethanyAllAccess.com, and you can get signed up for both of those events. So what we've been doing is a question of a day, and people have been submitting questions on our IG account at Bethany All Access, or they email us at allaccess@bethany.com. And so the question for today is this: what does your evening routine look like after you get home from work? After you've been productive, what does it look like?
That's a great question. This one actually came in anonymously on our social media accounts. Thank God for all these great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what do I do when I get home?
Yeah.
Okay. Focus on family. as a dad of 4, my first priority is my family. And so I come in, obviously, letting Angie know that she has my full support, attention. I'm there present emotionally. And then my kids, always it's trying to give my kids a great experience in their childhood. So I'm fun dad. I'm trying to think of something we can go do, a way we can goof off, a way we can veg out, watch a movie, something. So it's not specifically a one thing. The answer is focus on my family. I just totally focus on them. This often includes a family dinner time. Every night that I'm not out somewhere, we're going to have a set dinner time at the table. I believe in that, the conversation that happens there, and then just devoting the night to being together as a crew. So that's my answer.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much for submitting your questions, and you can continue to do that. And also, thank you for watching us on Bethany All Access and listening to us. And share this with somebody. I know this is going to be beneficial to you. Until next time, we love you guys.